Officer, if you'll come up here first, please. She's going to swear you an oath.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Take a seat over here, please. Please watch the footing stuff. Once you're seated, yeah, I know the mic's on. Just make sure it's kind of aimed at your chin. Okay?
At my chin, okay.
All right, Mr. Nelson, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Could you state your name for the record, please?
It's Dale Plessas.
And you don't testify as much in court anymore, so if you could spell your last name for the benefit of the court reporter.
It's Plessas.
Okay. And where are you currently employed?
The Minot Police Department, City of Minot.
And what do you do for the Minot Police Department?
I am the investigations commander, but right now I'm the interim chief of police.
Okay. Now, your current rank is that of captain, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Could you give us a rundown of your training and experience, please?
I've been a police officer in Minot for, will be 24 years coming in September. I've attended the North Dakota Peace Officers Academy, various other trainings throughout the 24 years, and I've attended the FBI National Academy.
Now, what was your role in this case?
I was the initial officer responding in 2007.
So you were a patrol officer at the time, is that accurate?
Correct, I was a patrol officer.
And could you just give us a brief explanation of what a patrol officer does?
Patrolling the city of Minot, handled accidents, criminal investigations, minor criminal investigations, respond to emergencies.
So on the 4th of June of 2007, did you respond to an emergency that dispatch sent you to involving this matter?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and where were you dispatched to?
I was dispatched to 24. I'm going to have a hard time remembering the address. I think it was 24.
Would it be
20.
24th Street?
Say that again.
24th Street?
Yeah, apartment number 5.
Okay. And that's in Minot, Ward County?
Correct.
And what happened when you got there?
I was dispatched for a potential unattended death or a deceased female. So I was at the very end of my shift at that day, must have been around 5 o'clock, and I arrived on scene and made contact with the reporting party.
Would that be Gordon Knutson?
I think the reporting party was Laura Knapp.
Okay. So Laura Knapp was the one that called. When you say reporting party, you mean the person who called 911?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. And was Gordon there as well?
He was.
Okay. And what happened next?
They directed me to the apartment, and Laura wanted to go in and show me where she was. I told her to wait outside. She motioned down the hallway, and I went to the bedroom where she was located.
And what did you find?
I found someone who was later identified as Anita Knutson, deceased in the bed.
And what did you do at that point?
I had a firefighter who had just arrived on scene. I'd asked them to stand outside and wait. Once I believed that she was deceased, I had him come in to verify. After he verified, I had him leave the scene, and at that time, community ambulance had arrived on scene, a paramedic, and I wanted them to verify, so I had them come in and just ensure that she, in fact, was deceased.
So the firefighter would have been there basically to perform CPR potentially or something like that. Is that accurate?
Correct. It's standard procedures in the fire department in case there's something medical that we can do.
And Anita was long past that point. Is that accurate?
Objection, leading, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Was there any life-saving that would have done anything for Ms. Knutson?
The firefighter indicated she was cold to the touch, and therefore he didn't believe there was anything to be done.
Okay. What happened next?
I had them leave the scene. I secured the apartment by securing the front door, standing outside of the front door. That's just standard procedure. Waited for investigators to arrive.
Did investigators come?
Yes, they did.
And who were those investigators?
I recall Bob Bernard was the first investigator on scene. I don't recall after that. Other officers also arrived.
And Mr. Barnard also, was he a detective with the Minot Police Department?
Correct, he was.
Okay. And what happened after that point?
After that point, I was contacted by my lieutenant in charge of my shift, and he instructed me to turn the crime scene over to another officer from the afternoon shift and to return to the PD.
And did you have an issue with that?
I didn't like that, no, but it was an order given to me, so
Okay. So did you follow that order then
I did.
and return to the PD?
Yes,
Okay. Did that pretty much end your involvement in the case?
yes, it did.
Okay. Now, later in your career, were you involved in the detective side of things as far as the Minot Police Department?
Many years later, I became the commander of the investigations division.
Okay. So you've been with the Minot Police Department for, you said 24 years at this point?
Correct.
Uh,
Well, in September, it'll be 24 years.
okay. So that does include the entire period from June 4th of 2007 when Anita is discovered to when this case got charged out in March of 2022,
Correct.
plus stuff on either end.
Yes.
Okay. Were you involved in any decision making on trying to find or work with detectives at the Minot Police Department to work the case to try to crack the case?
Yes, I was. When I took over the investigations unit, I was instructed by Chief Klug to find a way to get the case reviewed again and started again. Not necessarily started again, but readdressed.
Were there any difficulties with that?
Yes. Chief Klug was the commander of investigations. Two commanders in front of me. Well, Chief Klug and Justin Sunheim were both commanders of the investigations unit, and they both indicated that manpower was an issue for both of them. And trying to get to that point, what he asked me to do was find a way to get logistics and get the investigation going again.
Now, has manpower been, unfortunately, a persistent issue with the Minot Police Department?
Yes, as with all law enforcement agents, but definitely Minot PD has been down between 10 and 15, even more than that, since around that time. So
does that cover patrol officers, detectives, the whole kit and caboodle?
yeah, it does. I mean, it's across the board.
Now, over those 15 years between 2007 and 2022, how has crime changed in the city of Minot?
There was a couple of things that really impacted the crime in Minot. The flood being one of them, and the oil boom in western North Dakota being another. And so crime has increased. We're seeing a lot more violent crime than we ever have prior to that.
So as a result of that, are detectives and other law enforcement officers in the Minot police community stretched a little thinner?
Yeah, I would say yes.
Were you involved in the decision to reach out to potentially podcasters or syndicated television shows, that sort of thing?
We never reached out to them. They reached out to us.
That's what I meant. So they reached out to the Minot Police Department, and you had to make a decision on whether or not you were going to cooperate. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Okay. And what was that decision?
Well, Cold Justice reached out to us and indicated that they had some things that they could provide us that were attractive to us. Logistics was a major one. DNA experts, forensic experts, and cold case investigator assistants. So we reviewed all that, made a decision that with their logistics, we would be able to move forward with this investigation a lot smoother than on our own.
So was that due to the logistical support that the decision was made to utilize them?
That was the major component, and is logistics.
Did their help make it easier for the Minot Police Department to do the work necessary for this case?
It allowed us to move a lot quicker, so yes.
Permission to approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
a slightly different one than we have back home. I'm handing you 2 items. If you could take a look at those and let me know if you recognize those. You want to just hand that back to me when you're done?
Yes, I do.
And
Yes,
what,
I do recognize those.
And what are these documents?
They're maps. One's a map of the city of Minot with the full city limits, and another one is a zoomed-in portion of the city of Minot.
And are these true and accurate copies of map of the city of Minot?
Yes, they appear to be.
Okay. The state moves to introduce Exhibit 2A and 2B into evidence, Your Honor.
Mr. Sand, do you have any objections?
I'd need to come take a look at them, Your Honor. I
You
can't
may.
see them from here. Thank you. Offered as a map of the city of Minot. Was the other one offered as a second map of the city of Minot?
It was offered as a blow-up portion of map A.
No objection.
Plaintiff's exhibits 2A and 2B will be received without objection.
And permission to publish, Your Honor?
Denied. I'm not going to let you pass those 2 sacks.
Oh, no, Your Honor. We've got an easel right here, and we've got clips to just show where places are in Minot. We're not going to pass it down the line.
Then you can.
Thank you, Your Honor. And permission for the witness to come down for demonstrative, Your Honor?
You'll need a microphone.
I'll sit at the desk and you can use this one.
You may.
And Captain Plessas, I can't see what you're doing over there, but if you could take a sticky note here that I'm going to pass to you. And use that to indicate the location of 2420 4th Street Northwest in Minot, Ward County.
Which exhibit is he on?
That's 2A.
Okay, I've marked that. I'll put my glasses on.
And Captain Plessas, if you could do it the same with 2B, which is the blow up of 2A. And I have no further questions at the time. Captain Plessas, if I could get that microphone back from you.
Okay, that's done.
Let me make sure it's off. Yeah, it's on. Oh, the stickies? Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Sand, do you have any questions for Captain Plessas?
I do, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Captain Plessis, the state discussed with you MPD's numbers being down in terms of officers, correct?
Correct.
And you had said that you guys, all law enforcement had struggled, but you have struggled more, right?
I would say, I can't say more, but we are definitely struggling, yes.
What reasons do you think that's for?
There are multiple reasons. The police in general are struggling because of the perception of law enforcement, I guess. There's multiple reasons why we're down.
Did your
officers.
police chief just step down?
Yes, he did.
Okay, do you know why?
He was investigated on a administrative investigation, and
Okay.
he, at the end of that investigation, chose to step down.
What do you know about that investigation?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
I believe it has extreme relevance, Your Honor, especially given what's gone on.
I'll overrule your objection. Please make sure you connect it, Mr.
I will, Your Honor.
What do I know about the investigation?
Yes.
I was involved in the investigation, but I guess I didn't conduct the investigation.
Did you review the report when it was completed?
I have read the report. I can't say that I've read it extremely thoroughly, but I have read the report.
And I'm guessing you're aware of the new report regarding Sergeant McLeod.
Yes, I am.
Okay, have you read that?
I have read through that. I have not in depth read.
Are you aware of the allegations of destruction of text messages and
Objection,
files?
Your Honor. Relevance to the
Extreme
current investigation.
relevance, Your Honor. That's
Okay, can I have you approach the bench? All right, Mr. Sand, you can ask your question with regard to Officer Plessas, Captain Plessas, in relation to the manpower issues that the police department is having now.
well, my plan is to ask the same question I just asked, Your Honor. Is that objection being overruled or sustained?
Ask the question again.
Are you aware of the allegations of destroying of text messages and files in the new investigative report?
Objection, Your Honor, as to relevance.
Again, what's the relevance of that, Mr. Sand?
The relevance, Your Honor, is that the officers working on this report were involved in that.
The objection is sustained. We're talking about an incident in 2007, not the report.
Okay. In 2007, do you recall if MPD had manpower issues?
I don't recall what they were at that time, no.
Okay. What was your rank in 2007?
I was a senior officer.
Were you the first officer on scene?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Did you photograph anything at the scene?
No, I did not.
Did you observe anything at the scene?
I observed things at the scene.
Did you observe a curtain or a curtain rod at the scene?
I don't recall that.
Okay. What do you recall when you walked into the scene?
Like I said before, I recall being motioned down the hallway and finding Anita Knutson on the bed.
Do you recall any involvement with Officer Klug in 2007 on this case?
I do not.
Do you remember him being involved in the case?
I do not.
Did you talk with Gordon Knutson when you got on the scene at all?
I don't recall specifically talking to him, but I remember him being there.
Do you recall observing a ripped screen when you were at the scene?
No.
Or a slashed screen?
I did not see the screen, no.
Okay. Did you talk to the maintenance man, Mr. Marty Annell, when you were there?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What time did you leave the scene?
I'm not sure that I notated that. I was not on the scene for a long time.
Approximately how long? I know it was a long time.
I would guess, this 17 years ago, but my guess would be maybe an hour at most.
Okay. What officers were there while you were there?
Shane Haug, Chuck LeBoy, Sergeant Haug, Larry Haug, Bob Bernard. Those are the officers I can recall.
Okay. Those are the only questions I have.
Mr. Nelson, do you have any redirect?
No redirect, Your Honor.
Is this officer here by subpoena?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is he excused?
He is excused, Your Honor.
Mr. Sand, do you have an objection?
No, sir.
All right, officer, you may come and go as you please. Thank you. Next witness.
State calls Dan Strandberg, Your Honor.